Picture the situation: you live in a van or an RV and you're in a remote location, way out in the desert or up in the mountains, and the signal from a cell phone tower is very weak. The solution? A cell phone booster. So today I want to talk about the HiBoost cell phone booster 4G, and I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review of this product. So first, full disclosure, HiBoost, they gave me this, sent it to me for free. I'm under no contract, no agreements with them, nothing to give it a positive review. This is totally unbiased. I'm going to give you all the pros and cons that I can think of for this particular unit, as objective as I possibly can be. I don't know if I'm going to keep this and continue to use it, but I think it will be a significant upgrade for me, so I'm excited about it. And so today, let's get into it. Let's do an unboxing. This is the HiBoost Travel 4G 2.0, and this is the box. This is what it looks like, and a little handle on top. The back side says it contains 4 items. You've got the booster itself, you've got the antenna, and you've got a patch antenna, which is the part that goes inside, and then you've got the power cords with a 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter. So those are the 4 components that are inside, the primary things that we're going to be working with. Let's open it up. Inside has a little foam insert here on top, and then a user manual. Let's take a look here in a second of that. Here is the main booster unit. Comes in a little plastic Ziploc bag with a red plastic cover over both of the antenna and wiring ports, and it looks like it has some heatsink vents on it and some holes for mounting. Over here is the antenna unit, and this looks fairly robust, and also has a red protective cover on it, which is a nice feature there. And then here is the paddle antenna, which is the part that goes inside that you put next to your phone or wherever you're going to be located in using the unit, and the little sticky circle that you can use for the exterior antenna. And then the last item in here is the cigarette lighter adapter, and it looks like it goes to USB, and then a cable here which is USB on one side, and then a 12-volt barrel connector on the other, which I'm assuming goes into the booster itself. So that's everything that's inside of the box here. Looking through the manual here, it is recommending doing what they call a soft install to test everything out, which I think is wise advice. You want to set everything up and make sure it works with a temporary install before committing to drilling holes and doing anything serious for a long-term mount. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the purposes of this interview, is a soft install, getting everything sort of set up and placed where I want it, make sure it's working. I'm going to be testing this with 3 different devices. I'm going to be testing it with a smartphone, and then I'm going to be testing it with 2 other devices. These 2 devices are mobile hotspots, which are providing only data. I have 2 different hotspot providers. I have an AT&T hotspot, which is a Mobley device, and then I also have a Sprint related device, which is from a company called PCs for People. So I'm going to be testing all 3 of these products with the booster and seeing if there's any performance increase, if they're doing a better job by using the booster. I'm mounting the antenna outside. This is my step van that I have been living in for about 3 years, so I'm going to be climbing up onto the rooftop and mounting it sort of near the back area. Let me show you the roof. Over here I have the new antenna, which is mounted, and it's just a soft install going back here and through the back door. Here is another antenna. This is my previous booster. That's from a HiBoost. And then just have the connectors here so you can see where it would go inside. So that's ultimately where it needs to go inside right there. So I have the wire just coming back through my back doors here, and then I'm going to run the actual booster itself and plug it in right next to where I was running my HiBoost, which is my previous cell phone booster. This new booster is rated at a 50 decibel boost versus the old one that I've been using for a couple of years from HiBoost, which was rated at 23 or 24 decibels. So this should provide about double the boost of what I've been used to. Okay, I've plugged this in. This is the new unit here, and you can see it's running. One side here on this side is the antenna cable going to the interior antenna and paddle, and then this wire here is the power wire, which I have plugged to a USB plug that's just over here, and then on the back side is the wire that goes to the back door and outside to the antenna on top. And the lights are blinking. I'm going to have to look at the manual to see exactly what that means. It looks like just from the icons that this first one here is power, that this is data or signal, and this is probably signal strength. It's got a little like radio wave symbol on that. So anyway, I need to look at the manual just to confirm that. Well, I just have to say, I've been looking at this manual and looking back at the unit itself. I can't figure it out. There's no indication here in the manual of what each of the individual 3 lights are for. There's little icons, of course, on the unit itself, but you're just sort of guessing at what those are. And here in the troubleshooting guide, it just says alarm LED and Bluetooth LED, but I don't know which one those are on the unit. So I would say my first criticism is they need to put a diagram of the actual top of the unit and clearly label what each light indicates and what it's for, because it's not clear here and I don't know really what's going on. I don't know if the alarm LED is the light that's solid blue. If so, it says it's below full power output. But what does that mean? Does it mean that I'm not getting 12 volts of electricity to the unit? That's for some reason that I'm below that. If you look over here, I'm at 14.1 volts of electricity in my system here, so I should be well over the 12 volt limit, so it should be just fine. So I don't know what's going on with that. I've just got to move forward and see if the unit is going to perform properly and maybe contact their tech support if it's not working. Okay, I'm downloading the Signal Supervisor for Android right now, which is the app that connects with the Bluetooth on the actual booster unit, and it's supposed to give all sorts of diagnostics on how the thing is performing here. So this will take a little bit of time. Okay, I've entered in my email and telephone number, created a user name and password, and the next screen I get is to wire the thing together. It has a little diagram here that you can see, and then you click on next, and then the next screen is to select the device itself, and it says that the serial number is on the bottom of the booster itself. I finally finished the registration process. I entered in, selected the device, and now I've received a startup guide, and this is quite a bit more informative than the printed version over here that I'm having a few challenges with. I will say that they need to do a little bit of editing here, and that the English is not that great. It looks like it's been translated from another language, or that the people don't really know English very well. I believe that this is Chinese or maybe out of Hong Kong, which I'm passionate about travel in Asia, and I lived over in Taiwan and Hong Kong for quite some time, so I'm familiar with some of these challenges. But for instance, it says the booster is a full duplex amplifier, but full is spelled F-U-U-L instead of F-U-L-L. So it's just like some of the basic English things that you would think that they could edit on their manual has just not been done here. For instance, here it says the proposed location is where the signal is rack, W-R-A-K, instead of weak, W-E-A-K. So there's just things like this that make me think that there's just not a lot of time and attention taken to the English text and the information here. So I would highly recommend to HiBoost to go through and work on their software here and do some editing to the English. It's just, I don't know, I think it's annoying to North Americans and English speakers when we see translations that are poorly done like this. I'm going to take a minute or two to look through all of this information that's presented here in the app and try to decipher and figure out what it means and how this thing is performing. Okay, so let's do some testing. I'm going to be testing 3 different networks. I'm going to be testing the T-Mobile network on my smartphone, which this is a Google Fi phone with a Moto 6 as the actual unit itself. So I'm going to be testing T-Mobile here, and I'm going to be testing 2 hotspots. One of the hotspots is AT&T and the other hotspot is Sprint. So first I'm going to test the Google Fi phone with no boost and just see how it does. So this is just straight Google Fi. Google uses, I think, 4 networks. They have T-Mobile, Sprint, US Cellular, and one other. So they choose whatever tower is the strongest here. So not sure which one. So I'm not sure which tower they're going to choose. Let's see. It looks like they are on Sprint right now. So let's do a test here. I'm at the RTR outside of Quartzsite. So there is a super congestion overflow. Those of you who are at this particular event at this time know that getting any kind of connection out here is just horrific and really difficult. So we'll see how we do on the numbers here. So let's see, what are we getting? 0.37. That's really low, probably very typical for the RTR event. It's just not great out here. So that is the results. We got 4 megabits coming down and 0.42 going up. So let's turn on the booster and see how we do after that. Okay, I have the little booster here. This is the paddle antenna that's supposed to be near your device that you're using, and I'm going to do the test again. This is powered up and going, and let's see how it does. All right, here's the test again. So I think we got 4 megabits before, so let's see how it comes now with the booster. Now, from what I've been understanding looking at the manual here, it looks like it's boosting 4 different channels. So that is really great. That should be ideal for this. Alright, so there's the test done. And we got 7 megabits coming down versus 4 before. So almost double on that. And then on the upload we got 0.93 instead of 0.42. So almost double the speed with the booster for the data connection. So that's pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and test our other devices. Alright, for the next test I'm going to do AT&T without the booster. Let's go ahead and click OK here to do the test. And again, this is at the RTR event outside of Quartzsite, Arizona. So I'm not expecting to have too great of results, but actually this has been pretty darn good today. Surprisingly high. Last year when I was here at this event, my numbers were under 1 megabit for coming down and usually a little bit higher going up. So I'm getting some pretty good numbers today, as you can see here. That's what, 7. Alright, so here's the test is done. We got 10 megabits coming down and 12.7 going up. That's pretty phenomenal with no boost out here in the middle of the desert. Let's see what it does with the booster. Okay, booster is on. Let's go ahead and try to do the same AT&T test again and see if it's any better with the booster. Now this may or may not be important for you if you're just doing talking on your phone, which is I think the primary purpose of this particular device. Then these kinds of data tests are not really going to be that valuable to you. But for those of us who are digital nomads and working on the road, data is extremely important. So here you can see some pretty high numbers coming in. One of the interesting thing about boosters is oftentimes your upload numbers are significantly higher as it boosts the output going to the tower. It's easy to do that. Alright, so here you can see we got 8.14 going down, so that's actually a decrease with the booster in down time. I'm going to do a second test to verify that. But going up, which is where the booster will really shine, is 27.8 megabits going up. That is really much higher, over double. I just did another test just back to back after the other one, and I came up with 12.2 megabits coming down and 20.8 going up. So in this test it was about 20-30% higher than without the booster, so still seeing an increase there. And for my last test, I'm going to be using a Sprint hotspot here, and this is from PCs for People. So this is one of the lower tiered Sprint plans, and it's pretty cheap. It's only $11 a month. I think I did a video previously about this particular service, so if you're looking for cheap, inexpensive internet mobile hotspots, then this is about as cheap as you're going to go for $11 a month, unlimited, unthrottled from Sprint. So anyway, let's look at it and see how it does without the booster. And let me go ahead and turn this on. It'll take a minute to get warmed up. Okay, now I'm testing Sprint without the booster. So here we're doing Sprint Network, as you can see here, without the booster. And this is different than the Google Fi because of the contract that PCs for People has with this hotspot. So the numbers here should be different than the Google Fi. I haven't done this yet, so I don't really know what we're going to come up with. Usually this is lowest tier of data priorities, so I expect these numbers to come in quite a bit lower. So we'll see what we come up with. Again, this is without the booster. Looks like I'm just looking at the view screen up here. These are fairly low numbers. We're getting 0.69 megabits coming down and 1.25 going up. That's pretty darn slow and miserable internet. So we'll have to see if the booster helps out with that. Okay, the booster is on. Let's see if we can do better for Sprint. Here we go. Wow, that's a big difference. That's much better. It's slowing down again, but still I think these numbers are coming in way better. We're getting approximately, looks like, wow, we're getting 7 megabits. That is up from 0.69. That's over 13-14 times faster with the booster. That is a huge difference. Interestingly enough, normally you would see the upload speeds be much faster. Final results here is 7.11 megabits coming down, which is way faster, and then 0.49 on the upload. That's a little bit odd. That's actually a decrease in performance on the upload. I'm going to do another test and see. Really, we probably should be doing multiple tests and doing an average, but I'm just trying to give you a basic idea of the performance that we can get here with this booster. Okay, there we go. We're getting download speeds again are coming in at anywhere from 3 to 6 megabits. Still, this is a huge improvement over what we had without the booster. That was 3.22 coming down and now going up. Yeah, this is what you would expect to see with the booster going up. We're getting over 4 megabits going up. So that's a significant improvement with the booster. So sometimes with the weaker networks like Sprint or T-Mobile, you can see significant improvements with a booster. The last thing I want to do is look at the Signal Supervisor app and actually look at the signal strength of the 4 bands that is working with. It's working with band 12, band 5, band 25, and band 4. And it's doing a 50 decibel boost for band 12, 41 decibel boost for band 5, and 50 decibel boost for band 25, and another 50 for band 4. And so your output for each of these is a -1 for band 12, which is considered to be good. You can see these numbers here down below. And then a -10 decibels for band 5, which is considered acceptable. And then for the other two bands, it says it's a -15, which is considered a poor signal. But overall, you can see that the primary band up here, I think that's the one that's used for voice, is the one that's strong. And so overall, I would say definitively this is a great product. I'm seeing boosts on all of my data speeds with all three networks and devices that I'm using, and I really like having these separate paddle antenna on the inside. That's something that I have not had before, and I think that this is going to be a quality of life upgrade for me. I think I can recommend this product to you. The only criticism would be, I would say they should work on their manuals and be a little bit clearer with the diagrams, and particularly go through and edit the English and the typos that are in there. I think that's something very, very easy for them to fix on their end. So that's pretty much it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Thank you so much for watching. Savor the moment, and I'll see you in a future video.